millions of wild hogs are quietly turning the United States into a large-scale pursuit that few people truly notice. At night, when cities fall asleep, herds weighing more than 150 kilograms begin their destructive march, tearing up farmland, damaging irrigation systems, and spreading disease across millions of hectares of agricultural land. They are not a native species, yet they reproduce so rapidly that a population can triple within just 1 year. Faced with this explosive growth, the United States has been forced to turn wild hog control into a nationwide operation, where helicopters pursue from the air, hunting dogs track on the ground, and professional hunters coordinate like a specialized task force. This is no longer simple hunting, but a fight to reclaim territory from one of the most dangerous invasive species on the planet. Last fall in Texas, the consequences of this population explosion became painfully clear on a cornfield waiting for harvest. As night fell, an entire herd of wild hogs surged into the field like a living wave, leaving chaos behind within just a few hours. Rows of corn were torn apart, soil was overturned, and months of a farmer's hard work nearly disappeared overnight. Wild hogs possess an extremely sensitive sense of smell, allowing them to detect food sources from long distances. Once they locate a fertile field, they do not move alone but arrive as a group, from large adults to young piglets, pushing into the crops, feeding and trampling everything in their path. This strong herd behavior, combined with their remarkable ability to adapt, makes controlling them an increasingly difficult task. For farmers, the danger does not only appear at harvest time. From the very beginning of the planting season, a single moment of vulnerability can lead to massive losses. Wild hogs often return to freshly seeded fields, where the soil is still soft and rich in nutrients. Using their powerful snouts, they dig through the ground, crush planting rows, and consume the seeds before they even have a chance to sprout, wiping out an entire crop from the very first stage. The next morning, deep hoof prints pressed into the damp soil stand as clear evidence of a nighttime raid. Unlike many wild animals that feed briefly and move on, wild hogs continue rooting across the field, disrupting soil structure and damaging carefully prepared farming systems. As a result, the damage goes far beyond the loss of crops, often affecting productivity for multiple growing seasons and forcing farmers to start over from scratch. Why do they always target cornfields? For these animals, corn is more than just food. Its high starch content provides a rich energy source that allows them to stay active for long periods and rapidly build fat reserves, especially during breeding seasons. Large cornfields, often stretching across dozens or even hundreds of hectares, unintentionally become perfect habitats. They offer both an almost unlimited food supply and dense cover that helps entire groups remain hidden from human sight. Contrary to common belief, wild hogs do not simply feed along field edges. They often move deep into the center of cornfields before foraging. The tall plants allow them to travel unnoticed, making their presence difficult to detect until flattened patches suddenly appear. By the time farmers notice the damage, losses are usually already severe. Across the United States, feral hog populations cause an estimated $2.5 billion in agricultural damage each year. This growing threat has pushed federal and state authorities, especially in Texas, to implement large-scale control programs as farmers face an ongoing nightly battle to protect their crops. As cornfields continue to suffer repeated destruction, wild hog hunting is no longer simply a weekend sport for outdoor enthusiasts. In many states, especially Texas, it has become an important part of official wildlife management strategies. Although hunting is allowed year-round in many areas, every operation must follow strict regulations regarding safety, shooting zones, and approved weapon use. Licensed hunters typically move along the edges of fields, while hogs are actively feeding. By using low terrain and the tall crops as natural cover, they can approach quietly without alarming the animals. During a single short hunt, an experienced group may remove between 10 and 20 hogs, providing immediate relief for nearby farmland and reducing short-term crop damage. However, this success rarely lasts. Wild hogs are highly adaptable and quickly relocate to new areas once disturbed. Within a short time, they often return or shift their activity to neighboring farms. Beyond agricultural losses, their presence is increasingly reported near residential communities. Local residents say that even a simple bicycle ride through rural roads can turn unpredictable, as encounters with groups of wild hogs suddenly crossing the path are becoming far more common than in the past. When the sun sets, the advantage almost entirely shifts to wild hogs. Active mainly at night and moving in large groups, they can spread across multiple areas in a single evening, making control efforts far more difficult. Every hunt therefore requires speed, coordination, and near-perfect accuracy. To counter this nighttime advantage, modern hunting teams no longer rely on ordinary lighting. They use thermal scopes, infrared night vision devices, drones equipped with thermal cameras, and infrared lighting systems invisible to the human eye. From above, drones can detect the body heat of entire sounders hidden beneath dense crops, while GPS tracking devices and radios allow hunting teams to coordinate movements in real time. The impact of this invasive species extends far beyond agricultural fields. Constant rooting activity muddies water sources, destroys habitats of native species, and increases the risk of disease transmission. As natural food sources decline, wild hogs move closer to residential areas, overturning trash bins, crossing streets, and creating dangerous encounters within communities that would otherwise appear calm and ordinary. As wild hog populations continue to explode, traditional ground hunting methods are no longer sufficient. In Texas and many southern U.S. states, control strategies have been forced to evolve. Instead of tracking animals across vast farmland on foot, wildlife control teams increasingly deploy helicopters, elevating the hunt to an entirely new level where the sky becomes a decisive tactical advantage. From above, pilots fly low over fields stretching for kilometers, scanning for movement among dense crops and open grasslands where hogs hide during the day. Once a group is spotted, the helicopter accelerates quickly, working in coordination with a shooter positioned behind, pursuing the herd as it scatters in multiple directions. Unlike ground hunting, which is limited by terrain and visibility, aerial operations provide a wide field of view, allowing teams to monitor and control large areas within a short period of time. When detected, wild hogs immediately run in fast zigzag patterns in an attempt to escape. The pilot must maintain stable altitude and precise positioning, while the shooter engages individual targets with accuracy, requiring near-perfect coordination between the crew members. A single flight lasting only a few hours can remove between 30 and 50 hogs, and during large-scale operations, hundreds may be eliminated in just one day. This rapid response helps reduce population density across key agricultural regions, preventing damage from spreading to nearby farms. Aerial hunting operations are not only about reducing wild hog numbers in the short term, they also reflect a broader shift in how humans respond to disrupted ecosystems. As agriculture expands and natural habitats become increasingly fragmented, the boundary between wilderness and human settlements continues to blur. Wild hogs are not simply destructive animals. They are highly adaptable species that take advantage of environmental changes largely created by human activity. This reality turns population control into a complex balancing challenge, protecting crops and rural livelihoods while minimizing wider ecological impacts. Each flight and every control operation therefore represents more than a hunting effort. It becomes part of a larger attempt to maintain stability between modern agricultural production and a natural world that is constantly evolving under human influence. Wild hogs are only one example. Many other invasive species are quietly reshaping natural ecosystems and agricultural landscapes across the United States, highlighting an ongoing battle for ecological balance that humanity has yet to fully win. In the United States, wolves are appearing more frequently, not only in rural areas, but also near densely populated communities, especially in states like California and Colorado, where they are often seen as silent predators. And the story does not end there. European countries such as the United Kingdom, Germany, and the Netherlands are also facing a resurgence of wolves. Reports of livestock attacks, crop damage, and disruptions to local ecological balance have increased in several regions. To manage the situation, wolf hunting has been legalized in certain areas. Experienced and trained hunters are assigned to carry out these efforts, although the methods and frequency vary depending on local regulations and environmental policies. But what if controlled hunting, rather than being just a reaction, could become part of a broader solution to help maintain natural balance? Stay with us, because what comes next may surprise you. Wolves are among the most flexible, opportunistic predators on the planet. They can feed on rabbits, chicks, insects, and even garbage found around farms. Measuring between 1 and 1.5 meters in length and weighing 25 to 40 kilograms, wolves have strong, muscular bodies and a thick, double-layered coat that provides insulation, allowing them to adapt to almost any environment. Their fur also holds significant value in the textile industry. Their high adaptability and non-selective diet have made wolves a constant threat to farms. In just one night, they can attack flocks of sheep or livestock, leaving barns in chaos as if a large-scale raid had taken place. But the danger is not limited to rural areas. Wolves are becoming increasingly bold, entering residential neighborhoods, garages, and backyards. And if a door is left open, they will not hesitate to step inside. Driven by persistence, wolves will move into any place where they detect food, warmth, or even the slightest opportunity. More concerning is the fact that they can carry dangerous diseases such as rabies, intestinal parasites, staphylococcal infections, and leptospirosis. Rabies, in particular, can spread quickly through saliva or bites and can be fatal if not treated in time. There have been cases where a single bite from an infected wolf forced farmers to cull entire herds of livestock. For this reason, many experts and local hunters have chosen a more direct solution: the use of firearms. They do not have to wait all night in the darkness. A single accurate shot can remove the threat. The strategy is clear, fast, and gives a sense of control in the confrontation with predators that operate under cover of night. The most effective times for hunting are usually at dusk or before dawn, when wolves are actively searching for food. Winter is often considered the most favorable season, as the scarcity of prey makes wolves more likely to approach farms and open areas. At the same time, their thicker winter coats have higher commercial value if used for fur. In many U.S. states and several European countries, wolf hunting is permitted year-round, although winter remains the preferred season due to the better quality and greater value of the fur. Wolf hunting is not a matter of luck, but a carefully planned process. Hunters often use small to medium caliber rifles, such as the Remington 700 or Ruger American, which are known for their high accuracy. These rifles are usually equipped with optical scopes to identify targets at distances of around 200 meters or more. In low-light conditions, hunters may also use night vision scopes or thermal cameras, allowing them to detect wolves even in complete darkness. The choice of ammunition is also important. Hollow point or controlled expansion bullets are commonly selected to improve accuracy, reduce recoil, and limit unnecessary suffering for the animal. To draw wolves into range, hunters often use electronic collars that imitate the sounds of prey, such as rabbits, mice, or small birds. The device is usually placed several dozen meters away from the hunter's concealed position. When an infrared scope detects the reflective glow of a wolf's eyes in the dark, the hunter carefully observes through the optic and waits patiently for the right moment. When the wolf stands still or moves slowly, the shot must be taken quickly, accurately, and in a humane manner. The preferred target area is typically the head or shoulder, aiming to bring the animal down immediately and avoid prolonged suffering. The ideal shooting distance ranges from 50 to 150 meters, providing both safety and high accuracy. Shots placed in the abdomen or rib area carry a higher risk of severely injuring the animal without an immediate kill, which can complicate recovery and create additional risk for the surrounding environment. Wolves are intelligent, agile, and extremely cautious predators. Although they are smaller than deer or wild boar, their flexibility and sharp instincts make them even more difficult to hunt. Without night vision equipment or effective calling techniques, the success rate often ranges from only 30 to 40%. In countries such as the United Kingdom and Germany, wolf hunting is strictly regulated. In some areas, night shooting is prohibited. In others, the use of electronic calling devices is not allowed. Hunting is also banned near residential communities or protected natural reserves. The handling of a wolf carcass must follow strict procedures as well, including isolation, disinfection, and reporting to the appropriate authorities. These measures are designed to prevent potential disease outbreaks and avoid environmental contamination. The goal of hunting is not to completely eliminate predators, but to maintain wolf populations at a balanced level. When carried out in a controlled way, under the supervision of authorities and with the agreement of local communities, wolf hunting becomes an important part of ecosystem management. It helps protect agricultural production and supports a sustainable balance between human activities and the natural environment over the long term. From devastated cornfields to high-speed aerial pursuits across Texas skies, the story of wild hog control reveals a quiet yet intense battle between humans and a highly adaptable invasive species. Technology, strategy, and coordination continue to evolve to protect crops, ecosystems, and rural communities. This is not just hunting, it is an effort to maintain balance between modern agriculture and a constantly changing natural world. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to like and follow Mandarin Tech for more.